Hello, my name is Joseph Grazi, and welcome to Heavy History. So today I want to talk about Mount Everest. Why, you ask? Well, that's a good question. I mean, what's more to say about it that hasn't already been said? It's the tallest mountain on Earth. It was named after the great British explorer George Everest in 1853. It sits at the absolute top of the bucket list for any respectable adventurer, and it's where ice dragons come from. But then, the other night, while fumbling around in the dark and endless abyss that is the internet rabbit hole, I stumbled upon some interesting new knowledge about the mighty mountaintop, and I thought I'd share it with you. So to start, the obvious. Everest is famous for being tall. That's right, tall. And you're like, okay, great, so how tall is it? And that's where things start to get interesting, because the answer is a little less obvious than you might have thought. In fact, the official height of Mount Everest is more than just a measured number. It's actually a political compromise as well. And even weirder, it's a compromise that happened as recently as December 2020. Yep, that's right. While the rest of you were stuck in lockdown posting happy pictures of yourselves online while slowly dying on the inside, Mount Everest was quietly ordained with its new and official height of 8,848.86 meters, or for us free-range simple folk, that's 29,032 feet. So why is that? Well, you see, Everest stands between two different countries, China and Nepal. Oh, and by the way, no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Nepal is, in fact, the only country in the world with a non-rectangular national flag. And since I happen to think that that's a ridiculously interesting piece of useless but fascinating trivia right there, I figured I'd toss it into the pile as long as we're here. So yeah, anyway, what was I talking about again? Rectangles? No, Everest, that's right, China and Nepal. Got it, back to the story. So the Chinese scientists have always claimed that the mountain should be measured from the bottom and all the way up to the top of the rocky tip. And honestly, that sounds fair enough, right? Like, what's more to debate? Bottom to top. Done, it's measured. Let's drink. But no, hold on a second. Because then along came the scientists from Nepal, and they were all like, yo, nah man, that measuring shit needs to start from the bottom, yeah. But it's gotta go all the way up to the snow cap sitting on top of that rocky tip. Now, most men will understand that the measuring of one's own mountain can become an extremely heated debate, and a debate that usually descends pretty quickly into all-out war and slaughter. But this time, perhaps due to the hypnotic spell that was 2020, instead of the usual chaos and horror, we actually got what I'd like to call the Great Dick Size Compromise. And on December 8th of 2020, China and Nepal finally called the measurement a truce and mutually declared Mount Everest to its new and official height. So yeah, congrats China and Nepal, because honestly, during a year that saw the world's getting along rates plummet to basically negative a fucking billion, it's nice to hear about the few good things that actually did happen. Seriously, good job guys. Anyway, height aside, here's the second thing I learned about Everest, and it's also the second most obvious question you'd ask. You're like, okay, Everest is tall, so who got to the top first? And I thought I knew that too. Sir Edmund Hillary, right? Like the great New Zealand adventurer guy got to the top in 1953. I mean, I learned that shit in grade school. Hillary was knighted and celebrated around the world, and to this day is revered side by side with other great explorers like Jacques Cousteau, Amelia Earhart, Neil Armstrong, and Hugh Hefner. Not to mention one of the most important parts of the mountain, the Hillary Step, is even named after the guy. But that said, let's hold off on that part for a second. Because speaking of seconds, here's the thing. Hillary was not the first man to reach the top of Mount Everest. He was actually the first of two. And you're probably thinking, two? Two, you say? I don't have room in my brain for two. And you know what? To that I say, I get it. Honestly, I don't really have the room either. So I'll spare us all the even bigger shock that they were actually two out of a team of over 150 people that climbed the mountain together as a team, none of which could have done it without the other. But again, for the sake of our tiny over-medicated brains, I will stick to two. The two that did, in fact, technically reach the top first. Technically. But technically, that's still two. And for some reason, we only ever get to learn about the one. But Sir Edmund didn't make it to the top himself. He made it to the top with the help of, and probably because of, his badass Sherpa Tenzing Norgay. But did Tenzing get the same international fame and celebrity that Sir Edmund got? No. Did he get knighted by the Queen or get any other cool Game of Thrones-like titles bestowed upon him? No. Did he get written about into the history books and taught about in schools all over the world? Not really. Did he at least even get part of the mountain named after him? The mountain on which he literally helped make history for our species? You guessed it, that's going to be another hard no. So what's up? Well, normally the story of Tenzing would pretty much just be another unfortunate tale of how Western imperialism's got a Western imperialized. After all, this did take place in the 50s and on a planet called Earth. So the idea of a white European climber completely overshadowing his Nepalese Sherpa is sadly far from shocking. And in fact, yes, that's pretty much exactly what happened. And while I can't change the past, I can help make the future a little better by shining some extra light onto our boy Tenzing over here in this video. Because in this world, even from the grave, every follower counts. And then that would be that. This would be the end of the video. I'd say thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, have a nice day, and not to do drugs. But no, in fact, you should definitely do drugs. And you should definitely not have a nice day. Because the story of Tenzing in the mountain is far from over. In fact, it's about to get even stranger. So let's turn back the clocks a little to the year 2015. A simpler time. A beautiful time. A time when masks were for Halloween parties and orgies, quarantines were for people exposed to aliens and sci-fi movies, and social distancing was just what you did when your friends got annoying. So you remember the Hillary Step I was talking about before? That mega important part of the mountain named after Sir Edmund out of massive respect for the guy and his accomplishments? Yeah, that shit is gone. For real, crumbled during an earthquake in April 2015. And you want to know what else happened that year? Just 2 months after the collapse of the Hillary Step? Our boy Tenzing Norgay finally got not just a piece of the mountain named after him, but the entire goddamn thing. Was it near Everest, you ask? No. Around the Himalayas, perhaps? Nope, not even close. No, in July of the year 2015, Mr. Tenzing Norgay got a motherfucking space mountain named after him. That's right, on July 15th of that year, NASA officially named the highest known mountain on Pluto, Tenzing Montes, after the humble but mighty hero, Tenzing Norgay. And even more bizarre, because history literally only ever gets stranger, you want to know the only year in the past 4 decades that not a single human being has made it to the top of Everest? Yep, that's right, you guessed it, 2015. So what the hell? Is that karma? Coincidence? Did some fearless and heroic American finally hashtag justice for Norgay? Or have so many hundreds and hundreds of millions of events in our history taken place over time that some of them are just bound to line up in weird and trippy ways? And then idiots like me, who have way too much time on their hands, are also bound to end up making completely ridiculous and made up connections between them all. I don't know. But whatever, who cares? Because all things considered, the truth is that mountains are cool. And climbing them, even cooler. So here's to you, Mount Everest. Here's to you, Tenzing Norgay. And you know what? Here's to you, Sir Edmund. You were indeed a brave and heroic man, and I am genuinely sorry to hear about your part of the mountain. But bro, Earth? You should have picked a better planet. Anyway, that's all for today. My name is Joseph Grazi, that was Heavy History, and now I actually will say thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Not to do drugs. Have yourself a nice day. And I absolutely am totally serious about at least 3 out of those last 4 things. Bye.